So you've tried online dating and it didn't exactly work for you. I hear ya. So here are a few tips to help you improve your online dating experience. My name is Linda G. Robert. I'm here to help you live your best life right now so you can love what you do. I have to admit, I've tried online dating and I want to be completely transparent and completely honest with you. I've tried it many, many times over the last several years, and I've had some experiences that were good, meaning I've met some really nice, interesting men who were interested in me, and we dated for a few weeks, but that's it. It didn't go further than that. I've had a lot of those good experiences. Now, I can't give you the numbers exactly. Let me just say that I've had good experiences. But I've also had some really bad experiences, and I'll give you a few examples. I remember a few times starting to chat with a man. Well, I thought it was a man, might have been a man, might have been a woman, who knows. The online profile did have a picture of a man, a fairly good-looking man. The online profile also stated that the person was a widow, that he worked in the oil industry. Very common. So keep your eye on commonalities, right? Widows, oil industry, or an industry that's not very popular, especially around where you live or in your country, for example. I also noticed a couple of times that I responded to the emails and I asked questions that were never answered. So every time I asked certain questions, I always ended up with a long paragraph that never answered my questions. That's kind of weird, right? A little bit strange. So, if you're thinking this is weird or this is suspicious, trust your gut. Trust your gut. A couple of other things. Oftentimes, the messages had mistakes, grammatical errors, or spelling mistakes. Now, let's face it, not everybody is an English teacher. I'm also an English teacher, by the way. I'm a coach, but I'm also an English teacher, so I notice these things right away. Not everybody's an English teacher. Not everybody is good in grammar or spelling. But most of us are able to at least make good sentences and correct or use spell check, right? But I noticed that there were a lot of grammar errors and a lot of spelling mistakes. Well, that was another hint. Either the person really didn't know how to write, or maybe English was not his first language. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? Not everybody's English is English, but there were mistakes that made me kind of doubt if this person was who he said he was. So these are a couple of things. One more is that a lot of times, and I'll give you a couple of examples too, they asked me for my email address fairly quickly so that they could take it offline, so it was more convenient for them to use email. Okay, I got this message quite a few times on a particular website that I was using. Now, I love meditating. If you've been following my videos, you know that I meditate fairly often. So I have joined a group, an app called Insight Timer. And on that app, you can meet friends, you can meditate. It's a great app for meditation. But I really received a lot of messages from men. And I thought, okay, they want to be friends. The first time I received a message from a man, I thought, okay, I'll be your friend. But then after that, the second message or the third message was, where are you from? What do you do? And I thought, what? This is Insight Timer. I'm not here to meet anybody. I'm here to meditate and meet other like-minded people. I received several messages. And this one message in particular, I thought, okay, I'll tell you what. I told myself that. I am going to meet this person on Google Hangout. They suggested to meet on Google Hangout. So once, and we didn't meet on a video. We met, we mostly chatted. So one thing that I noticed fairly quickly was the discrepancies with what he had written on the Insight Timer and what he wrote then on the Google Hangout. So these are things you want to notice too, right? First of all, if you're not on an app to meet people, make that clear. Make that clear. I'm not on here to meet anybody. That's the same thing with Facebook. I've received a lot of emails from men or messages from men wanting to be my friend. And honestly, I am not on Facebook to meet anybody, nor was I on Insight Timer to meet anybody. So if you're not on that particular site, Facebook, any social media other than a dating site, then make that clear, right? Make that clear. Second of all, if you are open to meeting somebody, then be aware that more than likely these people aren't really who they say they were. I'll give you another example. I remember I got contacted by someone, and I know, man, because I've gone through this so many times that I called them on it. I told him that I knew it wasn't him. And how did I do that? I used his photo and I did a Google check. You can do that, not all the time, but you can do, save the photo, you can do a Google check, and if the photo shows up with a different ID or different messages or just different photo, the same photo or similar photos but with a completely different name, then you got to start kind of going, that's weird. So I called him on it that one time, and he fessed up. He was completely honest with me, and he apologized. Now, I'm not going to recommend that you do that. I did that because, I'm a coach, and if you needed any kind of assistance, well, I'm always willing to help. But it was mostly to say, listen, we're not going to fall for that. So trust your gut. Trust your gut. So here's what I'm going to suggest. If you are open to meeting somebody online, and I'm talking to you women here mostly right now, a couple of things I'm going to suggest. One is that, of course, you create your profile. Okay, create a great profile, have a nice picture, and add information on the profile that describes your requirements and type of person you are. Have a great profile. But hide your profile. Hide your profile, and you're going to say, well, yeah, how is anybody going to find me? That's the whole thing. They're not going to find you. If you are wanting to meet somebody, I shared that in another video, you might have to start putting your attention on that. What do I mean by that? It means, and it's not easy to find somebody online, but it does require time. It requires time. So you might have to write a schedule. How many times a week are you going to go on? And limit yourself, because you can go online for hours at a time. So, you'll have to work on that too. But hide your profile and start searching profiles. And, you could put in your requirements and what your criteria are. Start searching, start reading profiles. But always know what you're looking for, right? If you don't know what you're looking for, and I'm not saying write a whole list, I'm saying at least be aware of what your requirements are, what your deal breakers are, right? At least know what you want in a relationship. Or maybe you don't want a relationship. Maybe you just want a friend, right? Whatever. You choose what you want. You got to know what you want. So be clear on that. And then, of course, you can use the online dating to start scouting, to start screening people, right? And then if you go, this one's really interesting. Not only is he good looking, but I like the profile. Then you can send one of these free hellos, or a quick hello. I recently was on the spiritualsingles.ca website, and on that particular website, there's a lot of free hellos that you can use without having to pay the membership fee, by the way. So scroll through the list of free hellos and use a few free hellos. And you might hold off to unhide your profile you might want to still keep your profile hidden and start engaging in a chit chat or an email type of correspondence, and see where you're at with that. Go with your gut, right? Go with your feelings. And then maybe after that, once you start feeling comfortable with those types of exchanges on the platform, then you might suggest, and I'm saying you might suggest, if you're comfortable with that, then you might suggest meeting on, I don't know, a Zoom call. Zoom call, at least you're not giving your personal information like a phone number or anything like that, right? You can create a Zoom link meeting and then just send it to that person, and you can meet them there. There, at least you're not sharing an email address at all either. So it's just a suggestion. So those are a couple of ideas for you. And of course, the next thing that I'm going to suggest too is, if you've decided to meet them on a Zoom call, one or two things here. Either you keep it casual, just want to get to know them by having a casual conversation, or that you have a bit more of a structured conversation, right? If you are, and David Steele here, David Steele is a relationship coach. I took some training off him, and he coins he coins the word conscious dating. And I love that, because it means that you are actually aware of what you want. You're aware of what your requirements are. So if you have done that work, you can always talk to me about that too. If you've done that work, you might write yourself a few questions down to ask this person. For example, if you don't smoke cigarettes, you can ask that in a very direct way, and that could be on your profile too. I prefer non-smokers. I prefer being in non-smoking environments. How do you feel about that? As an example, right? So you might want to, make sure you know what you want. What are your requirements? What are your deal breakers? And write some questions that could help you determine fairly quickly if the person meets your requirements, right? Or could break your deal breakers. And if they do, then you can either say it right on the call itself. You know what, we had a really great conversation, but I don't think we're a good fit right now. Or you could send an email afterwards, and a message afterwards. I really appreciated getting to know you more, and I wish you luck with your dating. Something simple, like that. So if I can be of help to you, my name is Linda G. Robert. I'm here to help you live your best life now so you can love what you do. Send me an email at backinthegroove@gmail.com. I would love to be your coach. I hope this is helpful.